Y'all ready to be history?
Get started.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
To the Pro Audio Suite.
These guys are professional. They're motivated.
Thanks to TriBooth, the best vocal booth for home or on-the-road voice recording. And Austrian Audio, making passion heard. Introducing Robert Marshall from Source Elements and Someone Audio Post, Chicago. Darren Robbo Robertson from Voodoo Radio Imaging, Sydney. Tech to the VO Stars, George the Tech Whittam from LA. And me, Andrew Peters, voiceover talent and home studio guy.
Line up, learner!
Here we go.
And welcome to another Pro Audio Suite, thanks to Austrian Audio, making passion heard, and TriBooth. Don't forget the code PAP200 to get $200 off your purchase. Now, speaking of TriBooth, I was in Sydney over the weekend and took mine up there to do a few sessions. I sent a sample to Robbo because I had to do an edit when I got back. We had to drop in a couple of words, and it was actually Somerset's read. And it's bloody hard to pick the difference, I have to say.
And it's different mics too, right? Yeah, then
different mics, different pre's, everything was different.
Wow.
So up there I was using a 41.6 and the SSL2. Down here I was using the OC18 and a Grace Design M101.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great that it just happens to be that close. That's luck.
Well,
I would call that luck.
I'd say that definitely there's a lot of luck involved. But what did you hear, Robbo, when you tested it?
Well, I guess, look, I picked it, but I had to listen hard. It wasn't immediately jump at you and clout you over the head. The only reason I picked it was there were some tiny, tiny reflections, which I really had to, it wasn't a comfortable listening level in the headphones to pick it up. And there was a bit of what I thought at the time was air conditioning noise, but you said you couldn't get the fridge turned off, so possibly it was that. But there was some of that in the background.
Could have been that or air conditioning, I'm not sure.
Yeah. But I got to say, in terms of the actual sound of the audio, it was tough to pick. There was maybe a couple of tiny things that you might pick, but in terms of fixing it up in post, there would be no issues.
They have a great range of specialty coffees and recreated their Japanese and Asian dishes, El Gordo, with a Latin touch. And of course, the good old Surf Cafe classics.
It was interesting because the room was not ideal because the wall that I was facing was actually the wall between my bedroom and the sitting room. And the wall was made of glass and I had nowhere else to put it. So I was actually talking in the TriBooth with the glass in front of me. So that would have been pretty tricky as far as reflections are concerned. But it seemed to work. Now, speaking of which, if you are traveling, who's got a hot tip? If you don't have a TriBooth, who's got a hot tip of what you should do in a hotel room?
Not work. How far you want to go.
Yes.
Oh, there's so much you could do.
Mattresses up, right?
Yep, I've seen that happen. Yeah, make a blanket for it, put a ironing board on top of the desk, throw a comforter over the desk and pull it over the ironing board.
Put cloth on the desk too, so that you deaden the desk itself.
Yeah. Sit on the bed, cross-legged style, with your laptop in front of you, and hand hold the mic with a blanket over your head. That's a classic.
Oh.
For those doing short promos.
I saw a cracker the other day. I saw a beauty the other day. Someone posted a photograph, and they were doing a session, and they had bunk beds in one of the rooms.
Oh.
So they turned the lower bunk into the booth, but they had to do all the session lying down.
No.
Yeah, well, you do what you got to do, I guess. As long as it's not on Zoom. If it's just an audio session, that probably could work.
How would that affect your read, AP? Surely your diaphragm would be compressed
terrible.
And all sorts of shit. Yeah.
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 What hand do you hold the flashlight in?
That's what your butthole's for.
Hands free.
It's a candle holder. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
It's a selfie stick holder.
That's the interesting thing.
Saturday Night Live did a gag about that.
Really?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's pretty funny.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. There's a million DIY ways you can do it, and everybody's been doing it for years. That's forced to do it. And that's since we mentioned TriBooth, that's another little side effect of the thing is the fact that it has a white interior and it doesn't look all that bad on camera. And it has a decent light inside. So like if you have to be on camera all of a sudden, we're going to do this one on Zoom. And yeah, the client's going to be there. They'd love that's a nice side effect that you won't look horrendous.
Yeah.
Horrendous.
Yeah, horrendous.
Atrocious and horrendous at the same time. Atrocious.
Since you mentioned on camera and you design sort of setups for people, George, one thing I know from working from home and from working from, let's call it a domestic internet connection, okay, not a particularly high-speed one, but the best I can get at home, is if I'm okay, perfect example. A couple of months ago, I had at Saatchi & Saatchi, an advertising agency here in Sydney, I had a job. I had two voiceovers. I had two voiceovers on Source Connect, and I had the client want to connect over Zoom, right? And they wanted cameras on and all that sort of stuff. And I struggled in terms of my internet connection. It really didn't cope. I had all sorts of issues that I had to deal with. For a voiceover artist who's in a hotel room, probably on a dodgy Wi-Fi, if they've got to use their Source Connect and the client wants to connect over Zoom and with a camera, I'm guessing they're going to have similar sort of issues. How do they deal with that?
Poorly.
Turn the camera off.
Just like,
but if your client's going, we want to see you for whatever reason, can you turn your camera on? Do you just turn it off for a takes, or how do you do it?
I would be like, do you want the session to go smoothly, or do you want to see me?
Exactly.
Right. Take your pick.
There, I'd be like, here, check me out. There you go. All right. Thanks. Turning the camera off. Let's do
Everybody
this.
Get your screenshot ready. 3, 2, turn on the camera. Screenshot. Shift Command 4. There you go. Okay, there you go. You got your. Now you know what it looks like.
In fact, I would take it further. I would say if I was the talent, I would say to the engineer, send me Zoom. Don't make me join Zoom.
Oh, in other words, you're not even on Zoom. You're just they're patching. They're
Zoom.
Doing the patching on Nexus.
So the studio's patching
Zoom into the mix.
Yeah. Gotcha.
That's exactly the way it should be. Actually, it's
totally
it's nuts
because then there's there's less redundant bandwidth going everywhere, which also reduces the chances of bizarre echoes.
It's a no-brainer, and that's one of the things that makes me nuts is when a client or when a talent is expected to provide multiple connectivities simultaneously and just do it like they're plugging in a cell phone to charge like that. Like it should be that easy.
No, because talent are doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Sometimes they're like, holding the phone up to their earbud underneath their over-the-ear headphones because it's like they don't have a phone patch. They're literally just holding their, Bluetooth over their other headphones.
Yeah.
You're bringing back a nightmare, Robert. I had one of those, and I've never, ever got over it.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
I guess thinking about it, the other workaround would be, is if you said to your engineer, if you were doing a Source Connect session and they wanted Zoom, if you said to the engineer, can you patch me into your Zoom over the internet, right? But then on your cell phone, you dialed into Zoom for your video. So they're hearing you over the internet connection they're hearing you over Source Connect, but seeing you over Zoom, basically.
Right, because Zoom actually has a thing in the audio that says leave audio.
Yeah.
Because basically what it is everyone thinks I'm muted, but it's not only that you need to mute yourself, you need to mute everybody else because if not, if they come out, the speakers are going back in your microphone. Yep. So leave audio.
And you can't turn it all the way down either. I have been on many Zoom 5 phone. You can the minimum volume setting is still on.
Yep.
Like you just let me turn it all the way down. Boop, 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 boop. And then it's it's still there.
Yeah. Whatever. You mute your whole computer and then mute your microphone or whatever you want to do. But don't forget the receive, not just your microphone going out, but the receive.
Right.
I honestly think why, for many things, why do you need camera? I mean, honestly, if I was going to stream picture and video, I'd be more concerned with streaming picture for the thing that we're working on.
See, that's the thing. Yeah. That's right. See, and that's the issue I had was they wanted to see the talent and they wanted to hear what I was recording and they wanted to see the picture that I was recording to. So you can imagine the nightmare that I was having on this end.
I mean, it's you can do it, but it's less is more.
Yeah.
Pick your priorities. If you don't have big pipes and you don't have a little bit of time to make sure that you're routing everything properly, first thing is get the audio straight.
Yeah.
Then probably get the video playback straight. And
well,
then
that's what I did. In the end, I said to them,
video.
yeah, in the end, I suggested, okay, well, how about this? How about we get the voiceover down that you want, that you're happy with, and then let me put it against picture, and when you think you've got a take, I'll put it against picture and play it back, because it was just nothing was keeping up. I was having all sorts of trouble.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. Well, I have a session, speaking of Zoom, once again, another session via Zoom in a few hours.
yeah,
That should be fun.
Well,
And so
there you go.
they're going to make you record everything, and
Yeah.
And so when you do that, do you have to deliver them separated takes?
No, I just send the whole
Here's a
session.
big file.
So, yeah.
That's what
So
you deserve.
just swap out. Yes, exactly.
You can go figure it out
Yeah.
if you're going to do it this way.
You work it out.
Yeah,
as
there
you
go.
should.
Well, hopefully
Should.
the Zoom capture has been kept on a timeline, so you just lay the thing over the top and you've marked it up so you know which takes the go take.
Yeah,
would think, but
you can
not
do it that way.
necessarily.
Yeah, because a lot of the time these sessions are like, we don't even want to hire an engineer, so we're just going to sit in a boardroom, and
Yeah.
and they think they're saving time, they think they're saving money, but the reality is that by the time everyone keeps their notes and it's a little bit chaotic because it's not exactly on the time code of your recorded file, so you got to try to overlay it, but maybe they didn't even have anything to overlay it on, so they're just end up keeping rough notes. At some point, someone has to listen through all that, decipher the notes, and pick out selects. And that whole process could have happened organically in the session, in the moment, like very fluidly, instead of trying to revisit it, which inevitably takes more time than just doing it on the fly.
Indeed.
Yep.
Indeed,
Exactly.
indeed.
Well, that was fun. Is it over?
The Pro Audio Suite
With thanks to Tribooth.
and Austrian Audio. Recorded using Source Connect. Edited by Andrew Peters and mixed by Voodoo Radio Imaging.
With tech support from George the Tech Whittam.
Don't forget to subscribe to the show and join in the conversation on our Facebook group. To leave a comment, suggest a topic, or just say g'day, drop us a note at our website.
ProAudioSuite.com.